Hi friends, welcome to the unit number 4 theory portion of AVFM and the chapter name is staffing. So before we dive into the chapter, let's see what are the topic which we have to study in this particular chapter. We will see the objective, what is the objective of this particular chapter. First, the first topic is the objective. Second thing, we will see the introduction. We will see the function of staffing, objective of staffing, nature of staffing, facets of staffing, significance of staffing, system return approach to staffing, recruitment, selection, training, what are the differences between them, and retentions and development, right? So this topic we'll also see, and then after we will see the knowledge and learning management, right? How it is done, how this knowledge management is done, performance appraisal, and finally this human resource development, or we call HRD. So now let's start with the first topic, that is our introduction. So friends, why are people so important in an organization? Well, it is simple. Machine can run, but people make things happen, right? So that is why people are called crucial. This word is super important. People are crucial because machine can run, but people make things happen. It is not just about number. Having skilled and motivated people is what bring real result, right? So what I'm talking about, that it is not about just about number. Having skilled and motivated people, this is what matters, not the number of people. Now the next thing is that right people, right job, right? It means that organization need a smart recruitment and proper training policies to ensure that right number and the right quality of people for the specific task. This is super important, right? So the next thing is this. So that is what it is written here, right number of people, right quality of people for a specific task. And now the career development is the key. If you don't help employee grow, they will walk out the door. That is why good career policy are essential to retain a skilled employee. If you want to retain a skilled employee, good career development process should be there. That is called career development. So that is what we are discussing. Now the next question is, what is staffing? So here we are discussing what is staffing. Think of staffing as the entire process of planning how many people you need. That is the planning of how many people you need, estimating, that is how many people you need, recruiting the right agent, right talent, recruiting right talent. The third thing is developing, placing them in the right role, right? The next is training and developing them, and then evaluating their performance, right? And yes, compensating them fairly, right? This is also important. Now let's talk about what is the role of manager in staffing. How manager plays an important role in staffing. Let's understand it. Manager plays a huge role in hiring and developing capable employee, right? In hiring and developing the capable employee, manager plays a huge role. So without proper staffing, managing become chaos, right? Simply put, staffing ensures the best use of human resource to achieve the business goal, right? So staffing ensures optimal use of the human resource. This is the key point, right? This is the simple definition. And remember, understanding staffing is not just theory. The knowledge can help you tackle both real life HR challenges and ace your CIV exam questions. So stay tuned for more practical insight for like this. Now, so I hope this make your concept clear that why staffing is super important, right? Then we have the next topic that we call as function of staffing. So ever wondered how organization find the right people, keep them happy and grow together? Let's break down the function of staffing in simplest way possible, right? First thing is that question is, why is staffing so important? Without the right people, even the best business plan fall. You have the best business plan, but you don't have the right people. So what will happen? The best business plan will also fall without the right people. Now here are key functions of staffing simplified for you. The first is the recruiting qualified individual. You know what it means? That means that think of it like building a cricket team. You need the best player for every position. Batter, bowler, wicket keeper. Similarly, company recruit people who fit different job role perfectly, right? So who the key point is various job role position, who are well suited for various job role position. So company select those people, right? Then we have the next point is the selection, means selecting the best candidate. So first thing you understood. Now the selection of the best candidate. It is not about hiring just anyone. It is about picking the best fit. So let me highlight it. It is about picking the best fit. This ensures that work get done faster and better. Okay. The third point is the making the best use of people. That is optimal utilization, which means no one like wasted talent, right? Staffing help assign tasks based on people skill, making work efficient. The next function of staffing is, you know, boosting job satisfaction and morale. This is the key point. Here you can see staffing boosts job satisfaction and morale. You know that when the right person is in the right job, they feel happy and motivated. And guess what? Simple thing is that if employees are happy, just wait a minute, if employees are happy, what will happen? If they are happy, the result will be best, or we can say the better will be result, right? So that is why it is said that when right people is in the right job, they will feel happy, and if they are happy, so our result will be better. So this is another function of staffing, that is job satisfaction. The next is the, you know, ensuring organization growth, right? So it means that good staffing fuel the long-term growth and survival of a business by building a strong manager, by building a strong leader. That is one point. So organization growth and survival, here you can see. Now the next is placing the right people at the right job. Imagine a chef. Imagine a chef working as an accountant. It would not work, right? Staffing ensures that everyone is in a role that suits them. Then we have responsibility sharing, right? Every manager, whether junior or senior, is responsible for a staffing function. So whether it is junior manager, whether it is senior manager, everyone is responsible for a staffing function. So one of the greatest management thinker, Peter Drucker. So let me show you what does it say. He is the greatest management thinker, Peter Drucker. So he says that people are the only resource that can grow and develop. That is why organization must prioritize their employee. So here it is, man of all the resources accessible to man can grow, and means that people are the only resource available to us which can grow and develop is the people. So that is why organization must prioritize their employee. So remember, staffing is not just about hiring, it is about building a team that helps the business thrive. If you found this helpful, please hit the like button, right? I hope this is clear to you that what is the function of staffing. I hope as I have given sufficient point to make it clear. Now let's dive into the objectives of staffing. So friends, ever wondered why staffing is not just about hiring people? Just now I have told you that it's not just about the hiring people, right? It is more than that. So why staffing is not about hiring people, just about hiring people? It is about building a dream team and keeping them happy and motivated. So in this particular slide, I will simplify the objective of staffing for you. Now, what are the objective of staffing? Think of it like this. Staffing is not about only finding the right people, but also helping them grow, keeping them. So these are the keyword you must know: grow, motivated, and a strong relationship. So this is also point. So what are the key objectives? First objective is recruiting suitable employee. Here you can see, recruit the suitable employee. It means that it is like casting for a movie. You need the right actor for every role. Similarly, business needs the right people for a specific job position. The second objective of the staffing is educate and develop. You know that once hired, you can't just leave them hanging. Organization train and develop their workforce to improve their skill. So what organization do? Organization train, organization develop their workforce, right? So so that is what we call educate and develop employee. So why organization develop, why organization train? So to improve their skill. The main point is enhance the skill, right? Making them better at what they do. That is the function of education and development. Then we have something called policy design. Clear policy, clear rule are essential. Imagine a game without a rule. It will be chaos, isn't it? Suppose you are playing a game and there is no rule, it will be chaos. So policies for transfer, policies for promotion, it keeps the workplace fair and transparent. So this is called policy design. The next we have is the motivation and performance. So what is about this motivation and performance? So motivated employee perform better. Simple thing like appreciation, reward can inspire people to give their best every day. So simple thing like reward, right? So if you reward them, this will inspire them, this will motivate them to work more efficiently. Then we have foster positive relationship, means build positive relationship. A strong relationship between employer and employee as well as between colleagues create a healthy work environment. Then we have meeting workers' demand. Yes, everyone has expectation like fair pay, good working condition, respect. Meeting these demand ensure employees stay loyal and dedicated. So once their demand are met, so they will remain loyal and dedicated, right? And then we have maintaining morale. What is this thing about morale? So a happy and positive workforce is more productive, right? Positive interaction and teamwork help sustain morale. So friends, when organization invest in staffing wisely, they don't build a workforce, rather they create a winning culture, right? So remember, staffing is much more than just hiring. It is about nurturing talent. So let me highlight, it is about nurturing what talent? It is about nurturing the talent, right? and creating an environment for success. Now let's talk about the nature of staffing. So what do you mean by nature of staffing? Friends, now let's understand that if you think staffing is just about hiring people, you are missing the bigger picture. I will break it down in simple relatable term so that you can ace your preparation. Now the first thing is, what is the nature of staffing? Staffing is not just about getting people on board. It is about finding, it is about nurturing, it is about managing human resource effectively. Here is what it make it so dynamic. Let's talk about it. So the first thing is concentrated on individual. It is about helping each person give their best at work, just like a coach bringing out the best in every player on a sport teams. The second point is oriented toward development. Think of it like personal training at the gym. Staffing focus on improving employee skill, providing them with learning opportunity so that they grow professionally. Right. So that is why it is called oriented toward development. The third reason is all India pervasive function. Right. You can see all India pervasive function. So what it means? It means that staffing is not limited to big company, right? Rather, whether it is a small startup or charity organization, right? Staffing applies to every type of business. That is why it is called all India pervasive function. Now the next point, it is ongoing process. It means that hiring is not a one-time job. Organization constantly need to recruit and improve human relation to keep things running smoothly. The next reason is the human objective. That staffing help employee reach their potential, ensuring they work willingly and contribute toward business success. So that is what I mean to say by human objective. The next is focused on individuals and groups. That it is about balancing both personal effort and group effort, right, to achieve company's goal. That is what is called focused on individual and group. Then we have creating a productive environment. What it means? A pleasant work environment is essential. Imagine working in a space where you will feel motivated. Staffing help create that vibe, right? So that is called productive environment. Then the next point we have is the multidisciplinary character. Here it is, you can see multidisciplinary character. So what do you mean by this multidisciplinary character? So a pleasant work environment is essential. Imagine working in a space where you feel motivated. Staffing help clear that vibe. And we talk about multidisciplinary character, means staffing bring his knowledge from psychology, sociology, and even behavioral science to better understand and manage people. That is why staffing is so important. So it incorporates theories from sociology, anthropology, management psychology, right? So that you can understand and manage people. Then we have something called essential to general management, right? So it means that from hiring to firing, right? The manager need effective people management skill for a smooth operation. So managers should have this general management skill for a smooth operation from hiring to firing. Then we have a blend of art and science. So what is the meaning of blend of art and science? So it clearly means that staffing is both a science with organized principle and an art that involves creativity and handling people with empathy. Think of it like cooking. There is a science behind the recipe, but the art is in adding the right flavor at the right time. Staffing is just like that in business. So cooking is a science, right, behind the recipe. So but the art is adding right flavor, right quantity at the right time. So staffing is just like in the business. So remember, staffing is much more than hiring. It is about nurturing talent, creating a winning team. I hope you find this explanation useful. Now let's talk about the silent future of staffing. It is about building a strong, motivated workforce. So first thing is that involvement with human being. The first silent feature of staffing is what we call as involvement with the human being. Staffing is not just shuffling paper or posting job ads. It is about people. From hiring to training to promoting, manager ensure that right people face the right role. Then we have distinct managerial function. This is the second function of staffing. You can see the distinct managerial function. What it means? See, staffing is a core responsibility of management, right? Staffing is a core responsibility of management. It stands on its own, just like planning and organizing do. Why? Because research show hiring and developing the right talent directly impact business success. So if you hire and recruit the right talent, it will directly impact the business success. Now the next point we have, it is essential at all managerial level. Means from top leaders like board of director choosing a general manager to departmental head hiring their members. Staffing is crucial at every level, and while the HR department help, manager have the final say. Then we have something called social responsibility. Since staffing involve people, so manager must handle it carefully, right? So manager must handle it carefully. Imagine being fair and transparent while hiring or promoting. It builds trust, it builds respect within the organization. That is what we call social responsibility. Next point, we have impact of internal and external environment. You know that staffing does not happen in isolation. Internal policy like promotion rule matters. External factor like government regulation and job market trend also influence staffing decision. So it's like sailing a boat. Both wind and water current affect your direction. Think of a cricket team. The coach select player, train them, promote future stars, and ensure the team stay motivated, all while navigating changing rule and competition pressure. So remember, staffing is not just about hiring; it is about nurturing talent while balancing social responsibility and environmental factor. What are the influence of external and internal environment on staffing? Let's talk about it now. So friends, you know, staffing is influenced by many factors inside and outside the organization. So let's discuss what are the factors which influence it. So first of all, let's talk about internal policy. Think of this as the company rule book. So this internal policy, you know, you can think of the company rule book, right? So these rules decide how hiring, how promotion and how transfers are managed. For example, a policy might say that current employee get preference for promotion, so manager have to follow this guideline while staffing, right? So how staffing decisions are made, that is called internal policy. Then we have external environment. You know, let's look at how outside factor impact staffing. So there are a couple of important ones. The first, you know, is the government policy. So sometimes the government steps in and say, hey, we need to hire through official job exchanges. Companies have to comply with these rules. Then we have something called educational institution. You know what it is, educational institution? So it clearly means that colleges and universities help by training fresh talent. Some company even tie up with this institution to organize workshop or hire directly through campus placement. Think of a tech company hiring software developer. Their internal policy might say they prefer promoting existing employee to team leads, but externally, if the government mandate having a specific number of freshers, they have to balance both requirements. So I'm giving you example for clarity. That's to think of a tech company hiring software developer. A technical like Infosys is hiring software developer. So their internal policy might say that they prefer promoting existing employee to the team leads. But externally, if the government mandate hiring a specific number of freshers, so they have to balance both requirements. So that is how internal policy as well as the external factor like government influence impact the hiring process, impact the staffing process, right? I hope it is clear now. Now I've given you an example of Infosys, right? So it has internal policy also, which says that the departmental candidate will be promoted further to the leads, while the government policy also says that you should also recruit some new freshers. So these they have to follow it. That is what I'm telling you. Now let's talk about the facet. Let's talk about the facet of staffing. So you know, the first facet, you know, there are three primary facets. So the first facet is called recruitment. You know, this is like casting a wide net to attract as many qualified candidate as possible. So here is the key point: qualified applicant. So the goal is to fill position quickly with the right people. So when I say qualified applicant, means we are filling with the right people, right? Now then we have something called selection. You know what is the meaning of selection? You know it, right? Here the focus shift to filtering. So when I say selection, it just means we are doing the filtering work. You know that it is about reviewing application and picking the best fit. So you are reviewing application, you are selecting the best fit, right? Like choosing the finest apple from the basket. And then finally we have something called training. So first of all, what we did, we recruit, we selected, and then we trained, then we perform the training. So here is the third aspect you can see. This is called training. You know what is training means? You know, once hired, training ensure employee can perform well. It is like upgrading your phone software. It makes things faster and more efficient. So remember, staffing is influenced by both internal rule and external pressure, and it is about finding, selecting and growing the right talent. I hope you find this breakdown quite useful. Now let's talk about the significance of staffing. In the upcoming slide, let's talk about it. What is the significance of staffing? Let's talk about it now. So have you ever wondered why companies put so much effort into hiring the right people? Well, that is where staffing plays a crucial role. So let's break it down. What is staffing? Staffing is all about finding the right people for the right job within a company. Think of it like assembling a winning sport team. You need player with the right skill, attitude, commitment to win the game. Without the right team member, even the best strategy can fail, right? And we know why the staffing is important, right? This also we know. So let's talk about you think of an imagine a software company hiring developers. So I will give you an example to substantiate the fact. So suppose you think of a software company and that is hiring, that is needing developers, right? So if they recruit someone who is not up to date with the latest coding trend, the company's project could fall behind. On the other hand, hiring someone skilled and motivated will lead to faster and better result. So what are the key impacts of effective staffing? First thing is they do is to identify the staffing needs. You know that the HR team will figure out which department need more staff. Then they search for the right candidate to fill those gaps. Obviously there are different departments within an organization, so the HR team has a responsibility to see which department needs more staff, and that is what we call as identifying of staffing needs. Okay, so what we are discussing presently, we are discussing the key impact of effective staffing. Second thing is the enhancing overall performance. You know that when the right people are in right job, work become efficient. So that is called efficiently work is done, right? It is like fitting the perfect puzzle place. Then we have ensuring survival and development. You know that staffing ensures continuity. Here is the keyword. Staffing introduces what we call as continuity. Let me write it down. Staffing ensures this continuity, right, by training employees for future roles. This helps companies stay prepared for changes and challenges both. Then we have optimal use of human resource. You know, having the right number of employee, prevent work day or overloading staff. This balance keep operation smooth. Then we have boosting job satisfaction. So when employees are recognized for their hard work, it boosts their morale and job satisfaction. Performance review and reward plays a big role here. So these are the key points to keep in mind. Now, so remember, staffing is not just about hiring, it is about building a strong foundation for the organization growth and success. I hope you find this video useful to understand. Now, what are the keys to organization success and growth? What are the keys? Let's try to uncover it. So friends, ever thought what make organization successful? Well, it is not fancy office or big budget. It is about having the right people at the right time in the right role. So three right are there. Right people, right time, in the right role. These three right plays a super important role. In this particular slide, I will cover the keys to organization success and growth in simple terms. So the first thing is is the timely and appropriate staffing. You know what it is? Imagine running a restaurant without enough chefs or waiters during peak hour. It is a disaster waiting to happen, right? That is why organization need to fill role promptly with right people to keep things running smoothly. Now, the second point is that avoiding resource waste. You know that employing unqualified people is like hiring a driver who does not know how to drive. That is called avoiding resource waste. You should avoid resource waste. So when I say avoiding resource waste, it means employing unqualified people is like hiring a driver who does not know how to drive. It wastes time, it wastes money, it wastes effort, creating more problem than solution. That is what we call avoiding resource waste. The next thing is that the knowledge and experience. You can see written here, knowledge and experience. So what does it mean, knowledge and experience? You know that when company hire people with the right skill and experience, they get better result. Think of it like hiring a skilled chef who know exactly how to whip up delicious meal. Then we have high quality output. So qualified employee help deliver top quality products and services. It is a difference between a homemade cookie and a gourmet dessert. Attention to detail and expertise matter. And then we have something called training and adaptation. So training help employee keep up with the changes. Just like you need to learn new exam strategy for CIIB, worker needs to adapt to new technology and process. That is called training and adaptation. You need to adapt to, right? So this is also included. Then we have compensation and initiative. So think of an organization like a cricket team. The right player, trainings and rewards can make or break the game. Staffing is like choosing and managing that perfect team, right? So now let's talk about the factor affecting the requirement of quantum and types of manager, right? So before that, let's talk about this system approach to staffing, and then after we will move to this quantum. Okay, so first of all, what is the meaning of this term? That is called system approach to staffing. A method based on open system is required for staffing, which is carried out within the company and linked to the external environment. So there are some internal factors which affect it. Like you should consider the personnel policy, organization climate and reward system. So these are the internal factors. And then we have something called total management system. It relates to the managerial function of staffing performed by manager. So if we talk about this total managerial system, total management system, in short we call it TMS. So what is TMS? What is the meaning of this term TMS? So TMS means managerial function of staffing performed by the manager, right? Then we have something called organization structure. Determine the number and type of manager needed. A management inventory compares the need for manager with available talent. So comparison is done, how much is the available talent, how much is the number of manager needed. Then we have something called recruitment and selection. We can use both external and internal source for recruitment, selection, placement, promotion and termination. Then we have something called performance review and development. So it includes performance review, career strategies and training opportunities for manager. So what are the impacts on landing and controlling? So adequately trained manager foster an environment for cooperative achievement of goals. High technology demands manager with advanced education, training, expertise. Now, what are the factors affecting the requirement of quantum and types of manager? So a staffing and recruiting manager is not just about posting job ads. It is a strategic process driven by many factors. Let's break down what influences the number and type of the manager an organization need. So stick around for some valuable insight that can help you ace your AVFM examination. Friends, here we are talking about factors affecting the requirement of quantum and types of manager. So first thing is that business size. This is the key factor that influence managerial requirement. The topic you can see is the business size. What is the meaning of business size? Bigger corporation need more manager. It is as simple as a small shop versus a big shopping mall. The larger the business, the more manager required to oversee the operation. So the number of manager needed depends on the size of the business. That is the key point. The second is the organization complexity. If a company has a complex structure with multiple department and location, it naturally needs more manager to keep things under control. Just like a cricket team need different coaches for bowling, batting and fielding. That is what we call as organization complexity. Then we have expansion plan. That planning to grow or open new branches. That means hiring additional manager to handle the increased responsibility. Then we have something called managerial turnover. So when manager frequently leaves a company, it creates a constant need to find replacement. So clear written that high turnover rate, it means high demand for manager, right? So these are the factors. Let me again show you business size. That means bigger company needs more manager, simple as that, right? Then organization complexity. If a company has a complex structure within multiple departments, so it naturally needs more manager. Expansion plan, so it means planning to grow or open new branch. That means hiring additional manager. So these are the factors which affects managerial requirement. Now let's talk about the structural modification and managerial needs, right? So the first thing is the delegation of authority. What it means? That giving manager more or less decision making power can change the number of manager required. So if you have fewer number of manager and if you give them more decision power, then you automatically don't need more manager, right? So giving manager more or less decision making power. So here is the key point. Delegation means you are giving them decision making power. That is what you are delegating the task, right? You are giving them decision making power. So regardless of it can change the number of manager required regardless of the company size. And then we have something called adapting organization structure. So what it means? That adjusting the structure, like merging department, it can either increase or reduce managerial role. So it is crucial to determine what skill and qualification each manager should have. Think of it like choosing the best player for every position in a sport team. You need the right person for the right role. Then we have something called recruitment and staffing. Here it is, recruitment and staffing. Recruitment is about finding and attracting candidate, while staffing is about selecting the best fit for the job. That is the difference between these two. So staffing means hiring the most qualified individual. That is called the best fit for the job. And recruitment means what? Finding and encouraging potential applicant. Means recruitment is just about finding and attracting candidate. So these two processes often overlap but serve different purpose, right? So let's see the real life example for engagement. So imagine starting a new business or launching a big sale event. You will need extra manager to handle the rush. This is when recruitment and staffing effort goes into high gear. So understanding these factors can help you better grasp the complexity of staffing in an organization. So what is the difference between recruitment and staffing? Recruitment is about finding and attracting candidates, while staffing is about selecting the best fit for the job. That's the difference. Now let's talk about the types of recruitment. In the upcoming slide, let's talk about it. What are the different types of recruitment we have? So there are something called internal recruitment, there is something called external recruitment, and there are some stages you can see. right? So what are the stage? First of all, you determine that there is a need for the hiring. Then you conceive a recruitment strategy. You draft a job description. You publicize the position. You recruit candidate for the position. You examine their application. You conduct a phone interview or initial screening. Anyway, you conduct interview. You evaluate candidates. Then you conduct a background check. Right? You make a decision. And finally, checking references, making an offer employment, hiring candidate, onboarding of candidate. So these are the 15-step process of recruitment. Now, there are different types of recruitment. The first is called internal recruiting. It means what? Imagine promoting a cashier to a store manager position within the same retail chain. So earlier a person was a cashier. Now he has been promoted to the manager. Right? He has been promoted to the manager within the same retail chain. That is called internal recruiting. It is all about filling job vacancy from within the organization itself. The benefit: employee already know the company culture and process, saving training time. Then we have something called retained recruiting. That think of this as hiring a premium headhunter. A company pays a recruitment agency an upfront fee to find the best candidate, and this agency work exclusively until the job is filled. Big company often use this for senior position like hiring a CEO. That is called retained earning. So basically you are engaging a recruitment firm with an upfront fee, right? So you have an exclusive partnership with the recruitment firm, and he find the best job fit for you. Then we have something called contingency recruiting. So two types I already talked about: internal and retained. Then we have contingency recruiting. So here companies say to recruiting firm, find me the right person and I will pay you only if I hire your candidate. No upfront cost, just payment when they deliver result. It is like ordering food and paying only if you eat it. So no upfront payment is required in the case of contingency recruiting. Recruitment fund is compensated only when. So what does the company say to recruiting firm? Hey, find me the right person and I will pay you only if I hire your candidate. So whatever right person that particular recruiting firm has chosen, if the company choose that particular person or recruit that particular person, then only he will be paid. That recruiting firm will be paid. Then we have something called recruiting for a staffing agency. This is the fourth type of recruiting which can be done. That is called recruiting for a staffing agency. What it means? That this is where agency help job seeker find temporary or short term work. So there is something called agency, and what does agency do? They help job seeker finding what? Temporary or short term work. Finding temporary work or short term work. Right? Think seasonal job like hiring extra delivery driver during the festive season, or temporary worker during office renovation. Then we have something called outplacement recruiting. This is another type of recruiting. This one is bit unique. Let's say a company is downsizing. They sponsor outplacement services to help laid off employee finding new job. It's like offering support even when parting way. So this recruitment method plays a vital role in keeping organization efficient and competitive. Now, then we have something called reverse recruiting. This is another type. So just now we have talked about the different type of recruitment. Now let's talk about this reverse recruiting. What is the meaning of this so-called reverse recruiting? It? Let me tell you about it. So friends, imagine your company is helping you leave for better job elsewhere. Strange, right? That is reverse recruiting. It's when organization encourage employee to explore better job opportunity that suit their skill. Company even assist with the resume review, job coaching, and interview preparation. It shows responsible HR practice even when letting employee go. That is called reverse recruiting. This is a strange, right? Companies, that particular corporation is letting the employee go. That is called reverse recruiting. Now, what are the tips for successful recruiting? So the first is the internal research. So there are methods for conducting successful recruitment. So here you can see, first of all, you should conduct something called internal research. Right? So it means what is the meaning of internal research? Always look for talent within your organization first. If a sales executive has done an excellent job, why not promote them to sales manager role? So suppose there is a sales executive, right, and he has done commendable job. Why not to promote him to the sales manager? That is what. First of all, you should look at the internal search, right? So internal candidate already know your business culture, saving time on training. Then what you do? You conduct passive. You contact the passive applicant. Means what? Not everyone is scrolling job portal daily. Some perfect candidates are not even looking for job. How do you find them? Building relationship with universities, network on platform like LinkedIn, and encourage employer referral. So this way, so you can connect with university, you can check social media like LinkedIn, and you can encourage employee referral, right? That is what we can do. Then the third thing you can do is hire proven talent. Means when in doubt, go for someone with a solid track record. So that is the third way of key tips, right? So the hire proven talent, which means that whenever you are doubt, go for someone with a solid track record. Let me write it down. You should go with someone having the solid track record. That is the key point. So so if a candidate has a history of delivering result, chances are that they will continue to perform well. Now let's talk about the selection process in detail. So we know what is the importance of recruiting, what are the types of recruiting. Now let's talk about the selection process. So friends, first of all, let's talk about the preliminary interview, right? What are the steps in selection process? You conduct the preliminary interview. What it means? It means that first filter. So it is a kind of first filter. You know, the company hold a basic interview to quickly remove candidates who don't fit the job requirement. The third thing is taking application. Second thing is the taking application. It means what? Now come the paperwork. Candidates submit resume and cover letter. This gives the company detail about their background, work experience and area of interest. The third thing is that they examine the application. It means what? A screening team will review all the resume to shortlist candidate who meet the job requirement like relevant qualification and experience. And then we have something called employment test, which means test time. Companies may conduct IQ, aptitude and personality test to check if a candidate has the right skill for the job. And finally, the step 5 is the formal interview. Yeah, so this step 5 is what we call as the formal interview. You can see written clearly here. What it means, this is where the real conversation happen. Candidates are asked in-depth question about to understand their skill, problem solving ability and whether they are the right fit for the job. At the same time, they learn more about the job role. And finally, we have something called reference verification or reference check. It means the company contact people the candidate has worked with before to confirm their skill, experience and work ethics. And finally, we have something called medical test. You know what is medical test? So health checkup. These ensure that the candidate is physically and mentally fit for the job, which help reduce absenteeism and workplace accident. So that is the complete selection process made super simple. I hope you find this explanation useful. So that is the first part of the lecture. In the next part, we will continue the next portion from where we have ended now. So we have seen what is the importance of recruiting, staffing, all that stuff. Thank you for your listening the lecture. We will continue our lecture in the next session.